Hey, Carm, pick up some here.
We got visitors. Hello there. Welcome to the outer atmosphere of the planet Akir.
Put it through the language translator.
Hello? Could you identify yourself, please?
Ah, 1980. And at the global box office, The Empire Strikes Back was king, as it led a continuing boom in science fiction films that had started in 1977 with Star Wars and studios desperate to emulate its success, leading to the creation of cinema classics, cynical cash-ins, and complete duds.
Major, let the robot have him.
And in the middle of all this came a film from legendary B-movie producer Roger Corman, designed as an answer to the movies that Corman felt were encroaching on his territory, a science fiction remake of classics such as The Magnificent Seven and Seven Samurai, a low-rent knockoff that somehow over the years has become more than the sum of its parts, thanks to a production crew of emerging talents who would go on both together and individually to dominate the industry for the next 3 decades. A film that over 40 years later is still far more intelligent and entertaining than it has any right to be. I'm talking about Battle Beyond the Stars. So, what did I think? When the farm world of Akir is threatened by the ruthless Malmori and their body-harvesting warlord Sador, played by John Saxon, farm boy Shad, played by the Waltons' Richard Thomas, must go out into the galaxy to find warriors willing to fight. You know, Battle Beyond the Stars really shouldn't work. After all, it was just another B-movie ripoff like the seemingly countless others that had appeared in the wake of Star Wars. Films whose biggest attractions were casts of upcoming TV stars or screen legends past their prime, spouting hokey dialogue from unoriginal carbon copy screenplays as substandard special effects played out on screen.
In the space of 3 minutes, every molecule on this planet will be immobilized. But after the 3rd minute, the green ray loses its power, time will flow once again, and everything will explode.
But what sets Battle Beyond the Stars apart from its compatriots is not only the talent both in front and behind the camera, but something rarely possessed by a Roger Corman production in the 1970s. Charm.
This is Space Cowboy. SOS.
Mayday.
Help!
Just as George Lucas was inspired by films like Akira Kurosawa's The Hidden Fortress, screenwriter John Sayles was then an up-and-coming author and screenwriter who would later become an acclaimed director in his own right, would lift directly from the plot of Akira Kurosawa's The Seven Samurai, hence the reason the people of the farming world are called the Akir. Not exactly subtle, but what should be a straightforward B-movie screenplay designed to fill theatre seats is instead a story filled with wit.
Okay. What's the big idea? Don't everybody talk at once.
Imagination and subtlety that seems to confirm rumours that Sayles' original screenplay was far more complex than just another Magnificent Seven in space. From the moment Shad orders the destruction of a Malmori scout, unaware his sister is aboard, to his words beside the grave of the first of the warriors to die.
A meal. Full course. Then bury it with him. Bury it? That was our arrangement. A meal and a place to hide.
While visually, the film saw the debut of a then unknown filmmaker called James Cameron, not as a director, but as a model maker. Cameron reportedly slept at the studio and pulled 85-hour shifts during filming, with Corman so impressed that Cameron was given a pay rise 4 times his original salary and the screen credit of production designer. Legend has it, although director Jimmy Murakami would always claim it was his idea, that Cameron deliberately designed Nell, Shad's spaceship, with distinctly female curves to appeal to Corman's tendency to put nudity and flesh quotas in his films. The ship with breasts was immediately cleared for use. Perhaps one of the film's most unique ideas is that no 2 vessels look alike. From Cowboy's space truck from Earth with a utilitarian design, to Gelt, the hired killer, whose ship is as flat and as sleek as a stingray. As for the casting, Corman followed the formula that had not failed him yet, casting a mixture of bombshells, TV stars and stars just passing their prime, be it a buxom Sybil Danning who had to be glued into her costume as body parts reportedly kept popping out.
You know, sex.
To the then 55-year-old Morgan Woodward, a star of shows like Wyatt Earp, and perhaps best known as the sunglass-wearing boss in Paul Newman's Cool Hand Luke.
Don't we ever talk?
I think you just said something.
And who spent the entire film under heavy prosthetics, dressed as the lizard warrior Cayman of the Lambda Zone. And while Richard Thomas is perfectly fine in the lead as Shad, the film truly belongs to 3 men. John Saxon as Sador, who hams it up perfectly as the villain who robs body parts to stay immortal.
But when we conquer Akir and you have some time, you must do something about this.
Robert Vaughn as Gelt, the mercenary on the run. To be honest, Vaughn is simply repeating his performance as Lee in The Magnificent Seven. But instead of being scared of dying, in this, Vaughn's character is scared of living, which somehow makes him not only distant, but more dangerous.
Wait. Listen to the rest of it. I sleep with my back to the wall. When I can sleep. I eat serpents 7 times a week. There's not a major city in this galaxy where I can show my face or spend my wealth.
Then there is George Peppard as Cowboy, the earth hauler obsessed with westerns. Peppard was the cliché of a Corman lead, the star on the wane, having damaged his career with heavy drinking. It was rumoured that the barbelt prop the character of Cowboy wore was filled with real alcohol, and that Peppard imbibed whenever possible. But, despite the one-dimensional nature of the screenplay at times, Peppard reportedly loved the character of the cowboy, producing one of his most likable characters on screen, until his career was resurrected 2 years later with the A-Team.
Yeah, I'm not the cavalry.
Cavalry?
Yeah, I'll show you. You've got a treat in store for you. As a matter of fact, I'll show you Custer's Last Stand.
All of this under the direction of Jimmy Murakami. Today, Murakami is best known as co-founder of Murakami Wolf Animation Studios, creators of the Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles TV show, and as the director of the harrowing anti-nuclear war film When the Wind Blows. But Murakami had also delved in live action, working on the aerial combat sequences for Corman's Von Richthofen and Brown, and earlier that year had directed Humanoids from the Deep with Doug McClure. And while Murakami's live-action directing is adequate, I would say it's possibly the weakest part of the film. But then one has to ask, was this down to the fact that Final Cut was taken out of his hands and given to Corman? Years later, in an interview with Empire magazine, Murakami mentioned his dissatisfaction with the final edit that ruined complex camera moves he had designed, but then finished the interview by saying, "The film works." And you really can't argue with that.
Live fast, fight well, and have a beautiful ending.
Order!
Battle Beyond the Stars is far from a perfect film, but Try telling that to the 10-year-old me who saw this on a bank holiday Monday evening in 1984, with a score by a young James Horner, aspects of which Horner would reuse a mere 2 years later in Star Trek II, The Wrath of Khan. And although I will admit I didn't understand all the double entendre the first time I saw it.
No violent ending is beautiful.
You've never seen a Valkyrie go down.
40 years later, Battle Beyond the Stars is still a fun sci-fi romp with tongue very firmly in cheek. And as I always say, sometimes that's all you need. Battle Beyond the Stars is surprisingly easy to find online. I say, go watch it.
Are you not entertained? Are you not entertained? Is this not why you are here?
And if you like this episode of So What Did I Think and want to see more, please remember to click like and subscribe. Always subscribe. Thanks for watching.